Mikekingbiz, the premier business media brand covering and connecting Central Virginia. It's home to Mikekingbiz Radio, producer of On the Mic with Mike RVA, which airs on ESPN Richmond 106.1 FM, The Choice 105.3 FM, and worldwide on IBGR.network. Follow Mikekingbiz for the best business-ish content in RV.
If you want to talk to us, and we got a lot going on in the studio today, give us a call, 804-638-3419. Mike King is here. We got friends and friends. We got breaking news. I got news people in the house with us, too. It's not just me. All right, so, I left the light on, and an old friend came back. Okay, so we got the WRIC ABC talent in the house with us, the news team, with the brand new 4 p.m. news. All right, so Eric Phillips is here with us. He's family, but he's been around Richmond for a while, a long time. He got ties here. He left, went to, CBN, but he came back, and now he has a partner here. So I'm going to just throw it over to these guys here on the mic with Mike. Heather and Eric, welcome to the program.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Yes, happy to be here. Hey, Mike.
Alrighty, so Heather, we're going to start with you. So, new to Richmond, you've been here forever.
Forever in like 3 weeks.
Okay, there you go. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Heather Hope here. Tell us who you are and what you do. I always say it's a business show.
Yes, so name is Heather Hope, new here to Richmond and WRIC, ABC News, Channel 8, with co-anchor Eric Phillips here. We're excited to kick off our 4 p.m. newscast starting Monday, September 12th. So I'm here especially for that. Les came from CBS affiliate in San Diego. I was in Oklahoma City before that, and I started off in Bakersfield, California. So I'm from Atlanta originally, and I went to school at The Ohio State University.
My grandkids are Buckeye kids.
Okay.
Yeah, they're Buckeye kids, yeah. We used to go to the wing place in German Village. What's the chicken wing place that's all over? I can remember. See, that's what happens when you get old. I'll remember, but we always enjoyed, my son, he lived in Franklin Town. So, so shout out to him. We're going to talk about you being here. We're going to talk about some journalism, how you got started. And so, folks, also, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have some contests today. We have tickets to the Squirrels game. Shout out to my man, Will Melton from Exponent 21. 4 tickets to the game on Wednesday. I think it's next Wednesday, the 14th. I think that's what it is. We also have a giveaway for some passes. It's gift certificates to the Capitol Ale House. So shout out to my good friends over there at the Capitol Ale House, Amy DeFore and all those guys. Eric Phillips, tell people who you are and what you do.
Well, hopefully folks will remember me. I'm not a stranger to this neck of the woods, but I came to RVA back in 2015 when I first was working for our competitor station.
We're not to be named. We are not, no shade, but we are not.
No shade whatsoever. None whatsoever. But that's why I first came to town and left in 2018. And as you mentioned, went to go work for CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network, out of the DC Bureau. So I still was living here in RVA, though.
We used to follow your travels.
Yes.
Me and my wife used to follow you on your travels up to DC every day.
Because I would post a lot on Facebook about my travels, and I had a little section called the Metro Maestros.
Yes.
Because if you ever take the Metro in DC, you know that there are singers, people playing instruments, blowing horns. I mean, you can get some really good performances at the Metro stations in DC, so I always enjoyed that. And sometimes I would stop and go live with them and have a little fun. So it was a good experience. But after a couple of years, this opportunity opened up, and it meant I didn't have to travel from here to DC every day, which was a nice change. Because although doing it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I rode a commuter van, coming across town is even better. How about that?
That is true. That cuts down on that commute.
That's right.
It definitely does. Alrighty, so folks, tell us about your the upcoming news at 4. You guys are moving into that space now to get us. There's a lot of information out there. Let's talk about what people can expect for that. And also, I'd be remiss to say, Minister Tiger Eric is a religious man as well.
Amen.
Whenever I get around, you guys always want to say, "I'd be remiss." If that's my sister's a preacher, so I always like to say, "I'd be remiss if I didn't want to thank the folks over at WRIC. Having talent go places is very important, and I understand that. So shout out to them and thank them for that. So you guys can tell us about the newscast.
So, here's the deal. WRIC is going to be the third of the three major affiliates here in this market to start a 4 p.m. newscast. And so we gave the others an opportunity to do their 4 p.m. and see what they're doing right and see what they're doing wrong. And now we're going to come at 4 and dominate. That's the basic plan.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. So we'll be starting on Monday, the 12th of September, as Heather mentioned. And we have been preparing immensely for this opportunity. Recently, we did some research in the market, and we know what people are looking for. We know the type of news they're looking for at 4 o'clock, and that's what we plan to give them. We are familiar with the audience, and so we are tailor-making a newscast for people who want news at 4 o'clock. And we found out recently that there is an increasing appetite for news at 4.
Yeah, so more people want to see news at that time, and not just regular news, but also traffic. People want more weather. There's always something up and down, roller coaster weather in Richmond. Is it raining? How hot is it going to be?
Because where you came from, I spent a lot of time living up the coast in Monterey. Where you came from, there wasn't roller coaster weather.
At all.
The weather was just nice.
All the time.
All the time.
So
Yes.
you see the forecast, it would be almost the same, and it was a copy and paste, wash, rinse, repeat kind of forecast. Here in Richmond, you need to stay tuned.
Yes, you do. Now, I'm from up north, and I'm waiting to get to October when they turn the heat off, because it's a little bit on the hot side. All right, so folks, let's talk about journalism. And so I had your colleague on, and we talk about, so John Rogers came on the program, and we also talked about journalism as opposed to TV personalities, that you guys are journalists. And that's where we talk. So let's talk about the pull to journalism and how did it happen and how did you get to TV?
Wow, so for me, mainly just starting with newspapers. So I did that while I was at The Ohio State University, and from that background, and the more and more internships that I did, be it in Columbus, be it when I got my master's at USC. We were looking at all things London now, but I got to intern at the CBS London Bureau, and that was so fascinating to see news on this macro international level. Because here, we're so provincial, we're like, oh, we'll just find out maybe in our city,
Yes.
maybe our county. When you're on that level, they know what's happening in Spain, Greece is doing what, everyone's following everything. So just really attracted to journalism, and then just seeing how the business continually evolves. Because there's that fine line between media personality and true journalist, and that line gets crossed each time, it gets blurred, and there's so much to it, so many facets, and that's what excites me and brings me back to the business each time.
A fighter, and a dreamer, and full-time making ends meter. Early riser with a nudge. High school struggler, and now college achiever surrounded by believers. Quick learner and little timer. But I'll make the time. And with my degree, I will give of my time. What's your and?
One of the things that we had talked about before, please drop this on your listeners, the difference of when you are your brand.
That's
the
right.
difference between that right there.
That's
Is that
exactly
something that
right.
you told me a couple of days ago that a lot of people don't get?
Yeah, a lot of people don't get the understanding of there is a hard separation between what the brand is and what the business is, and when you're the business and when you're the brand. So let's use Sha'Carri to break that down, right? Sha'Carri is attached to a major business, Nike.
Yes.
They're her sponsors. What people don't understand in that track world is these sponsors make sure you're able to show up and show out, that you're able to spend all your time training and not working at Home Depot part-time, that you are able to wear the nice gear, get the commercial time, all of those things. And then also they're basically, it's kind of like being a patron of the arts when you're a sponsor of someone in that space.
You expect a certain level of whatever.
That's right. You're basically making us as the sponsor, as the big business sponsoring this brand, you're making them capable of being able to do the thing they do well, communicate that brand to a greater audience, and perhaps build something, in this case, outside of track in the future.
Okay. Leading up to the Olympics, the brand and the business were totally aligned.
Totally aligned.
She's good.
She's absolutely
She set the
good.
world on fire.
She's doing exactly what a business like Nike would be paying her to do.
And then
she smoked weed.
Okay.
And that is when it becomes difficult for a business to stand by a brand, right? The business is sponsoring the opportunity for you to make the money. They are the people that are financing your dream, right? You're the brand. You don't really create anything other than the hype. That's all you got, right? That is really all you got.
So at that point, when she is doing that, is she a cultural icon just because she's running fast? Like a lot of people knew her in the track world, in the sports world.
Right.
When she smokes marijuana and all of a sudden that blows up, she goes from the sports page to the front page.
Right. Now we're not talking about the thing that we sponsored her for. If we're Nike.
Right. Okay. So what happens then?
So then what happened? So what Sha'Carri did wrong right away was she made a decision that what my grandfather or some of the older people say, you read your own press.
Yes.
Right. You believe the hype about yourself, but you're still just the brand. And it's important to recognize that being just the brand is not good enough until you own the business. So when she did that, she immediately created a potential risk for a business that, technically is too big to fail, but doesn't want to absorb that. However, what they did was they stood beside her. You know why they stood beside her? She's still a winner.
Yes.
At that point in time, she's still a winner. She's just a winner who made a mistake. She has an opportunity to bounce back from it. She's young. We all recognize what it's like to be young. I'm sure there are young executives at Nike that were able to kind of smooth some of this over. Great. Fast forward. Where are we? We're at post-Olympics race, one of the major races of the season, right?
At the mecca of track and field.
In Oregon.
Yes.
The mecca of track and field, track town. And now, leading up to this, she's doing exactly what the business needs the brand to do.
Rehabbing.
She's rehabbing it, but even more so, she's rehabbing her image, but even more so, she's hyping it up. She's on commercials. She's out there telling you what she's going to do. She's on TikTok talking about, I'm ready. Are you ready for me? She's doing everything that the major businesses that are looking for people who are culturally relevant to do would want her to do.
Okay. At the starting line of the 100 meters.
And now
she's good.
She's at the starting line. But who's she at the starting line with?
With a bunch of Jamaicans.
A bunch of Jamaicans
who are lightning fast.
Absolutely.
Because they didn't win the Olympics.
Been running this.
Yes.
Let's be real. Now we definitely had, our Michael Johnson, for those of us who are old school, Michael Johnson, FloJo, Jackie Joyner Kersey, Gail Devers. We had all those people. Mo Green, Otto Bolden. We had all those people. But we didn't have Usain Bolt. We didn't have that level of
and a number
brand
of
recognition.
Right. He's the fastest man in the world.
Fastest man in the world. And they had the fastest woman in the world. But he is the fastest man in the world was a phenomenal brand as well.
Yeah, he was.
Mikekingbiz on the mic with Mike, Richmond's premier business radio platform.
Making moves. Judging how you judge it, say we going corporate. Nah, we just corner boys with the corner office. I'm at the cap table, what the splits is. Not that cap table, boy, we live this.
Promoting how business can make the community better. No one does it better than Mikekingbiz. On the mic with Mike. Check it out.
You asked me the second question, which was, what were you surprised by that you're going to continue? With work from home, I'm going to be, again, honest with you. There has been nothing in my life where I changed my mind so quickly and so drastically. If you'd asked me in January, February, I would have never thought that the entire company could have worked from home. And even just a month later, my foundation have been shaken in that we were and we are. And we have taken care of our customers better than ever. Productivity is very high. Engagement is very strong. Of course, this is down to the professionalism and the care and enthusiasm of our staff, but nothing less as well than a great technology that we've been able to deploy to make that happen. So this will continue in that we like to make sure that our employees have a good work-life balance, and a hybrid culture and a hybrid work environment allow that to happen. And so we'll continue.
Really quickly, Alberto, employee development is a thing that you really try and develop people within the organization. Shanae, obviously you are a shining example of that. Let's talk about your journey. So you say you show up to Elephant, you're answering phones. Next thing you know, you're sitting here on the mic with Mike, Ned Shore, Lauren Moore, the CEO, and you're the one talking about giving the details. How does that happen?
Well, it's very exciting. I mean, it's something that I honestly did not expect. So coming out of college is like, hey, find a job. And so when I came across Elephant, and I started off really just, again, in customer care on the phones. And I'll be honest, coming out of college with a bachelor's, is like, this is not what I thought it would be. But, the one thing about the culture was just that the opportunity for growth and advancement, and that you are plugged in, and that you don't have to come being an expert. I didn't go to school for insurance. I went to school for business, but that if you put in the hard work and that you're willing to learn, and you have leaders there that are willing to help you along the way, is really what helped me. I remember my first manager really put me on the path. Hey, you should go for that opportunity. Here's how you do it. It's not a secret, right? We don't have corporate secrets where someone comes in and it's like, we're not going to give you the secrets to how to be successful. We tell people how to be successful. And so that's what really helped me. So I was able to go from being on the phones. I was a trainer, I was a manager. I even had the opportunity to run the whole department as well. And then I was able to make a transition into my dream job, which is learning and development. And so all of these possibilities, what I learned by being here is just that, hey, like, if you want it, go for it. If it's not a position that exists today, work for the position that you want to have, create your own. And it's definitely possible that it could come up along the way. So it's been huge. And so it's I'm just one of many success stories at Elephant that have had that type of internal track. So we definitely promote internal growth, internal advancement. We still definitely, reach out to the community and get new people in the door, but we believe in investing in the people that we have as well.
Wow. That's just out of the textbook right there. That's a straight up testimonial.
Used to make do, and now I'm making a name for myself and my family. I've got no room for discouragement, only encouragement. And I'm being taught business like it's nobody's business. At home and in class. And hold the door, please, because this elevator's going straight up. What's your and?
On the mic with Mike, the best business radio program around. I'm your host, Mike King. Glad you could join us. Today, we're coming to you from the campus of the historic Virginia Union University campus. We're here with the administrator of the Small Business Administration. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All righty. Let folks know who you are, and then we'll get into, this isn't the wonky stuff, that's me. This is about the journey, you coming to Richmond, and the vision of what you foresee for the small businesses that are in the area.
Well, I like to describe myself as a former small business owner, a daughter of an entrepreneur as well, and so I've been in the small business space for most of my life. I had the opportunity to join the Biden-Harris administration as the leader of the Small Business Administration, and it's a complete honor to do it now more than ever because our small businesses need our assistance on the ground, either trying to survive COVID, launch anew, and take advantage of opportunities and grow their businesses. And so, of course, we are the agency that's responsible for providing capital, market opportunities, and networking opportunities for our small businesses so that they can start and grow and be resilient.
So let me ask you, as a former business owner, and a public servant, where do we get the next generation of public servants from? When people see you, they're like, wow, I could be that. How do we groom them?
That's a great question because we need our great minds and those folks from communities that are very entrepreneurial to think about careers in government and serving specifically at the Small Business Administration. I think that there are a lot of unique paths that lead to a career of civil service. I came into it unexpectedly, was working in the small business space, actually in banking at the time, helping a friend who was launching a new startup business bank, and joined the Obama administration as part of the Small Business Administration. And that's where I grew a passion for policy, which can have such a big impact on small businesses. And so when you have experience to give back and serve federally, I think it's an important moment to step up and engage and try to figure out how you can be a tool to support our small businesses.
On the mic with Mike here with the head of the Small Business Administration. Ma'am, you came at a time when everyone in the world knows what the SBA is, and that there was a time the SBA was a hidden gem.
That's correct.
Everyone under the sun now knows your organization. How do you make that work? You guys have really scaled really well, and now you're getting the information out. When you move to the new administration, talk about the breath of fresh air that we've heard on the ground, what people see now.
Yes, I think that's true. SBA used to be the best kept secret in government.
You're not anymore.
Terrible thing to be.
No, you guys are, the word is out.
The word's out. SBA exists, and we have important relief for small businesses. I think it's a unique moment to really take advantage of everybody's concern and advocacy for small business, to create new private partnerships, to create new local champions, advocates, navigators who can help our small businesses connect to the SBA and other resources. So I do believe that this is a time when the SBA could really position itself, transform some of its programs to really reach small businesses and build trust back in those communities as well, especially with women and people of color who are starting businesses at such high rates, but who have historically been unable to access some relief or been having challenges that are navigating the Small Business Administration. So everyone should just know the SBA is here to help. We're focused on ensuring that all of our small businesses, all our great ideas, as the president says, from everywhere and anywhere, need to be able to have an opportunity to thrive.
Once again, the listeners of On the Mic with Mike know that SBA is here with us on a regular basis, and that's a very valued asset, because when everyone has questions about what's going on, we have the folks here at the district level. Give a shout out to Carl, Sherelle, as well as Martin. Those guys do an excellent job. I'd like to thank you. This is a whirlwind tour for you. I'd like to thank you for taking the time. Had some technical difficulties, but we powered through. Already appreciate it. Thank you for your time. On the Mic with Mike, we bring you the best and the brightest. That's what we do here. A business-ish. That's what we do here on ESPN Richmond 106.1. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks now. Take care.
3, 2, 1.
Mikekingbiz here, and On the Mic with Mike, the road trip edition for Black History Month. We'd like to thank SBA and Martin Short for partnering with us. Sharon Oliver and Club CEO Magazine and Studio, thank you for hosting us. Chef Michelle Wilson, Markeisha Harris Minor, Dr. Danny Gladden Green, BK Fulton, Gary Flowers, Nicole Reed, Holly Bird Miller, Anitra Bird. Thank you one and all for making the event so special.
One of the Legend of Zelda games.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Girls are gamers too. We ain't discriminating.
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool parts about that we want to explore with Brian and Stratton. Let's talk about girls in gaming and and some of the differences, or I guess some of the misconceptions that they have about that.
So I've certainly experienced in my world of being a female in gaming is a lot of dudes are feeling a little bit challenged by that. And they're
Shocking.
Yeah, right?
I can't believe that.
So I've noticed here a lot of times I'll like greet people, and sometimes people will walk right past me and go to one of my male coworkers.
And so we've talked about challenging your street cred. That it does happen.
It absolutely does.
Okay, let me ask you this. So when the street cred has been challenged and you know you got them, what's the look on the face then?
Oh, on their face?
Yeah.
You see the color drain just slightly, tail between the legs.
Okay, can you help me now? Yes.
Yeah, maybe they stopped making eye contact if they even were in the first place,
They came in feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
And then they realized, maybe I shouldn't have barked up that tree. So when you go through that process, how long is it before, when you fill out the paperwork, how long does it usually take before I know whether it worked or not?
So when you initially sit down to have a financial aid application, or when you have an appointment, we go through your financial aid application first. We submit that. That's going to be consistent of your living status, how many dependents you might have, whether you're an independent student, or if you're a dependent student.
So an independent student is, I'm out there working on my own.
No, then that's a
There
misconception.
Okay.
An independent student is a student that is over the age of 24, married, or have children. So you could be taking care of yourself, because a lot of people start taking care of themselves at 18 and they expect to be independent. No, the federal government is going to consider you to be a dependent student. So we need your parental information to determine what you're eligible.
Thank you very much, because I remember going through that and hearing that and thought, because you're like, why does my parent have to sign the FAFSA?
Because you're supporting
I'm already
yourself.
taking care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case.
That's not how the federal government looks at it. You're going to be independent once you are either married, have a child that you financially support, not have a child that is being supported by your parents, or if you have a child, you have to be able to provide financial documentation to show that you're able to financially support your child in order for that to still be considered a
that's like coming Brian and Stan right there, because I'm old and I'm not, I'm 62, so I'm just gonna get that out of it. I thought forever and wondered why that was the case.
Real estate because I wanted to be able to provide a legacy for my family and also be able to be there as my children grow up. I am able to now provide flexibility within my schedule and also be present for my clients. My name is Nicole Reed with Nicole Reed Real Estate and Associates, and I help individuals and businesses buy, sell, and invest in real estate. We believe that everybody deserves to build a legacy for their family and build generational wealth, and we believe that it can be done through real estate. Being in the top 1% in the state of Virginia of realtors and 5% nationally, my clients can rest assured that they have someone that is educated and very diverse within the marketplace. We want to make sure that we're looking and paying attention to every single detail when it comes to the transaction process and make sure that they feel comfortable and secure about making a decision, whether they're buying a home or selling a home. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, whether it's in Virginia or any state in between, make sure you call Nicole Reed Real Estate and Associates. Real estate redefined.